In this video, DP Alton Tuning will analyze the lighting from several well-known films.
All right, so this light is called a Lowell DP light. If you walked on a set with one of these now, people would go like, what is that? This was probably the first light not this particular one, but one like this was probably the first light I owned. It's a very primitive, you could call, tungsten light. It's a tungsten light like that, but it doesn't have a lens in front of it. It just has a bare bulb, and the bare bulb shoots out a bunch of light. It puts out a lot of light, but it's not very pretty, and it's not very controllable. There's a side view of the same light, all right? And that's probably a 40-year-old light, right? Still works. I have 3 of them from many years ago, all right? So this is on the set of The Shining. Have y'all seen The Shining? The movie The Shining? Okay, it's widely considered the best horror movie of all time. For a non-super bloody, it's got blood, but a psychological horror movie. But this is on the set of The Shining, and this guy right here with the beard is Stanley Kubrick, who, again, is widely considered the greatest film director of all time. You know, nobody can ever agree on this kind of thing, but he did 2001, Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, and others. Very well-respected director, and he's very photographically inclined. He understands that well. Well, if you'll notice up here, you know, that's like a $60 million movie 20 years ago, right? They had money. And if you'll notice up here, there is a Lowell DP right here, and there's Lowell grip gear holding this flag. So what we're saying is, on this $60 million movie, they're using one of these lights to, you know, just to bounce some light up in the ceiling, right? And to go a little closer, okay, you know, one of the world's greatest directors. This guy is a assistant camera guy on this movie. He later became a DP, one of the world's greatest DPs, and this cheap-ass light here, you know, crude light. I pulled one out on a movie one time working with a California director, and I was supplying some lights, and he laughed at me. You know, he laughed, he hurt my feelings, but he laughed, what the hell is that? You know, but it's not the light you use, it's what you do with it. You can take anything and make it work, all right? You can't hide behind the equipment. You know, if somebody knows what they're doing, they can take anything and make it work. You can't say, well, if we had HMIs, or if we had the latest LED, or if we had this, or we had that, we can make this look good. That's bullshit. You know, you can make any light work. Some work better, some work worse, but you can make anything work. All right, so this is from a movie, There Will Be Blood. Another really good movie from about 7 or 8 years ago. The actor there is generally regarded as the top actor of all time, of currently rather. But you'll notice, all right, so this is another big budget movie, you know, tons of money. Actors probably making $10 to $15 million for this movie. And what have they got for fill? They've got a big light above this guy's head right here. There's a big soft light up above his head, but because he's got on a hat, they're using these little lights, just like this little baby right here. These little lights shot through a lot of diffusion, and over here shot through a diffusion to light up underneath here, and to give just a little kiss of light underneath there, just to bring him out just a little bit. And you ask about gel, you'll see here that they have gel, orange gel on the light to make it even warmer. All right. They may have it dimmed down, they may not. I don't know. All right, so this is one of the Indiana Jones movies. Y'all have seen the Indiana Jones movies, all right. So Harrison Ford somewhere back in there in a car, and this is cars rigged out to actually drive down the road while they're filming, all right. And you'll notice again, there's a tungsten light right here that's providing just a little bit of fill light to him underneath his hat. All right, so I don't know. This was probably, I don't know which one this is. It wasn't the first one, I don't think. If it was done now, maybe they would be using some other type of light, like an LED. But they've got a tungsten light, and it's working. And the movie worked, and it turned out good, right? So it's not the lighting instrument, it's how you use it and what you bring to the party. This is Once Upon a Time in the West. Did y'all see that? That came out about 4 years ago. It won the best cinematography, best screenplay. This director, the photographer, this isn't the photographer, this photographer's won 3 Academy Awards for best photography. His name's Robert Richardson. He's got long white hair. He looks like, like a Messiah or something, but he's excellent. And one of his tricks is like to light these people. You see the lights kind of pointing up. His nose shadow is going up. He is taking a light, probably something like this ellipsoid light, and hitting it right down on the tablecloth and making the tablecloth really hot, but it bounces up and kicks light on the people. And so that's one of his stylistic things, but he's a great photographer. Okay, when I said they use light banks outside, this is 6 lights. This is 6 1,000 watt lights. And they're similar to what you would see in a car. Each one's 1,000 watts, but they look kind of like what your headlights are. They have the little facets on there. That's 6,000. This is 24,000. So this light's about this big, 24,000 watts. And for a big nighttime shoot, they possibly would have 2 or 3 of these on a big crane, 50, 60 feet up in the air, shining down for one side, and then maybe something on another side. So the advantage of these, you can turn each of these lights off individually, and you can dim it. So there's a lot of control with it, and they throw the light a long ways. All right, so we were talking about before there were HMIs were real prevalent. If you wanted a big light outside, you either had a cluster of lights like we just saw, or you had a brute arc. All right, this is arc light where carbon rods come together, and throws off a zillion watts of light. But you've got to keep those carbon rods just at the right distance, so you're constantly trimming them. So you can see it's got a smokestack on it, right? This is a light with a smokestack because they put off smoke, when they're lit up. And there's a guy standing by who his job is to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and also to constantly keep trimming the light to keep it just right. And this is a panel in front of it to soften it up, and obviously a crane. All right. This is the same thing. This is from the original West Side Story movie from the early 60s. They've got a brute arc, and it's mounted on a crane that's being driven down the street as these guys walk down the street. So, they're going to a lot of effort. And this is a description of hard light. This is a NASA shot. Some astronaut took this still photograph. But if you see here, hard light, that's the sun without going through any atmosphere. The Earth has atmosphere, what we breathe, and that softens the light a little bit. On the moon, there's no atmosphere, so the light, when the sun's hitting the moon, the light is very hard. This is from Dunkirk. Anybody see Dunkirk? It came out 2 or 3 years ago. It was okay. But they had a lot of boat scenes as they hauled the British soldiers from the beaches at Dunkirk back to England. They use all these diffusion panels overhead to cut the direct light and to control the light. So they'll go to enormous trouble with all the panels and then shoot some HMI lights in at certain places. And it can get where they'll have, conceivably, if they wanted to shoot something out on the street on a big movie, they would have the entire street paneled over with silk you know, so it looked like it was always overcast and controlled. This is another Stanley Kubrick movie. This is Eyes Wide Shut. All right, so you don't have to, I mean, I just described something where they went to enormous trouble to put all these silks. This is just a paper lantern. This is just a Japanese lantern that you can buy in a, you know, a store, local store. It's just a paper lantern. And that's providing the majority of the light on him. It doesn't have to be elaborate. So this is from Heat, the movie Heat. Again, a paper lantern over the top and then side light there. And then another little light that gives a little down light there. So it doesn't have to be completely crazy or anything like that. This is an older movie, obviously a black and white movie. Can you tell me where the lights, you know, there's a light on his face, a hard light on his face. Where's the light coming from? Do you see it in the scene? You can look at the nose shadow and tell where a light is coming from. Is it this? No. That's probably lighting something in the background. It's this light up here. And if you trace it down, that matches the shadow that's on the nose. So when you're watching a movie, if it's a not soft lit, if you can see a shadow, you can tell where it's coming from. Just by looking at noses, you can tell a lot. So on this one, this is a big soft source overhead that you can't see, pointing straight down, and that throws their eyes in shadows, makes them look menacing, makes their bald heads glow, and then lights our subject well. And just to explain that while there was a certain time that most DPs, directors of photography, and most lighting directors and all that were white dudes, right? But it's changing a lot now. And so there are a lot of women shooting. This is an Australian DP, Mandy Walker, and she's done a lot of big movies. This is Matthew Labatique, an African-American guy. He's excellent. He's done a lot of good stuff. And he's also very good at hand-holding camera. But this is Iron Man. Y'all see Iron Man? Okay, well, he shot the first Iron Man. And this is my last slide. Again, it's not the equipment. It's what you do with the equipment. All right, so this is Martin Scorsese, probably the greatest older director. This is from Killers of the Flower Moon, which probably came in second to Oppenheimer for Best Film last year in Academy Awards. But they're filming a scene that's supposed to be a newsreel scene. Martin Scorsese is 82 years old now, so this was taken about 18 months ago, so he would have been 81, maybe 80, right? The camera's much older camera. So the camera comes from 1917. This is his personal camera. He didn't get it as a little kid. He bought it somewhere along the way. But they use that to film the scenes, you know, and we're talking an $80, $90 million movie. They used a 1917 35 millimeter film camera to shoot a significant scenes in a movie, in a big movie. That wasn't their primary camera, but it still worked. And much as I love video, there's no camera in existence now that you're going to use for something 100 years from now. It just is not going to happen. But the film cameras still work after, 100 years. Can still work.
iPhone 9.
Huh?
The iPhone 9.
Okay.
Click on the next video to continue. New videos drop every couple of days. If you like what you see, like and follow us on our social media channels. And everything is downloadable for free on our website, rucciproductions.com.